Read your most recent notes app.
Yeah.
Can I read your most recent notes app?
Yeah.
Anyone else think the boomer corporations are inflicting a depression by raising the prices on purpose? Because they want to give us a taste. Because they want to give us a taste of the medicine that they grew up in, the depression. That's what it means whenever, because we've been in a recession. That's what it means whenever all of a sudden the price of like regular food and gas and everything goes like skyrockets. That's a depression now, not a recession anymore. This is a depression, and it's being purposefully enacted by people who lived through a depression. Suspicious, isn't it? It's the same thing they did the last time that we tried to take their slaves, actually. It's what they did the last time we asked for any rights or for accurate history to be told. If you don't want to eat cake and you want to be lazy and dumb and complacent as we have 99% wealth inequality, then at least learn to bake one. Learn to bake a cake. That's what somebody from the Depression would tell you. Learn to bake a fucking cake. If you're going to be baking loaves of bread, walking them around the neighborhood asking if anybody would like to buy them because you need the spare change. Learn to bake a cake because you're being robbed over and over for decades, generations, and you're doing nothing about it. Learn to bake a fucking cake. Now back to my point. They're inflicting a depression on purpose. And why is that? Is it because they want us to suffer? They want us to suffer the same way they suffered as kids, right? So you admit it. Poverty causes suffering. So you admit it. Poverty causes suffering and chaos. Because you guys act like police are what stops crime, and it's not. Helping our people not be in poverty is what stops crime. Stopping suffering that is unnecessary, that stops crime. They're admitting it. They know. They know that the suffering that they cause from raising all of our prices, that it hurts us. And they want it. And you take it every day instead of waking up and eating fucking cake. Eat cake, or at least learn to fucking bake. Meanwhile, we're all paying a fucking price for this, for your complacency.
Eric Adams went to a Wells Fargo launch party the same day that he started the destruction of all homeless encampments in New York City. And the event was launching a credit card for rich people to pay rent with. Eric Adams announced that in the next 2 weeks, the NYPD will destroy all homeless encampments with no plans to house any of the people living in them. This comes after him attempting to criminalize homelessness in the subway, continuously attempting to sweep homeless people into freezing weather, and again, giving them no access to housing, and cutting the already neglected New York City housing budget by $615 million. His alleged crime crackdown is actually just criminalizing homelessness and poverty. Destroying encampments while offering no form of housing is extreme violence that Eric Adams wants under the radar. Eric, you seemed a little uncomfortable next to Cara Delevingne at the rich people party, yet completely comfortable with criminalizing poverty, and that seems a little off to me. The next day, when asked about the dichotomy between the party and the encampment raids, this is how he responded.
Yes.
After diverting the question as much as possible, he had the audacity to say this.
Nightlife, believe it or not, is a multi-billion-dollar industry. And when they see a mayor out enjoying our city, they send the right message in the right city. And I can multitask.
Since he ignored anything about the raids, I attempted to bring it up.
Wells Fargo event help homeless people. Wells Fargo event help homeless people. The same day that the encampment is raided.
And we joined and signed a level with Brian Landa, because Wells Fargo has a history.
When it was clear he wasn't going to answer my question, I again tried to redirect it towards the raids.
To
And I separate the two. I gotta give my
Is any of the people,
Let me answer, you gonna cut me off.
did you house any of the people in the encampment?
I suppose not letting a cop spew lies makes them so uncomfortable that they run away.
So what now?
New York City mutual aid around the city has been gearing up for these raids, and if you have the means, support them. Cop Adams has demanded that people don't film the police.
Stop being on top of my police officers while they're carrying out their job.
So let's do the opposite. The NYPD are corrupt. Video evidence means that it is harder for the police to lie about their corruption. So let's keep putting pressure on the situation, support mutual aid, and keep filming the pigs.
Okay, so a few months ago there was a Chili's video going around of somebody that was paying at the kiosk and that they were getting charged more than the total was, and I made a video response to it being like, oh, they must have gotten like a coupon, and then, you know, the coupon total versus the actual total, that's probably why the tip was higher than what it was supposed to be. The person said that's not true, and I was like, okay, well, I mean, I worked there, and like, we never had any issue with the kiosk, so I'm sure you didn't get like a free rewards or something. They're like, no, I didn't. Okay, well, at the time I was kind of like a little suspicious about like, they must have used something, like they wouldn't have done the math wrong, but now all of a sudden there's a lot of videos coming out where these companies are doing this shit. So in this video, I've been tagged a lot, and they said they were at Roadhouse, and I hope it's not Texas Roadhouse. I love Texas Roadhouse, but okay, if you guys do the math here, 21 is 42, plus the 3 is 45. Why is the total 46.95? I did the total on my calculator, and it doesn't even 100% equal out to 45. It's like 44 and some change, but somehow the total is 46.95 plus the tax, and then it goes up to 50.71. So interesting. You know, stealing $2. This one I cannot explain. I can't explain this. Where is that extra money coming from? So they called the manager over, and the manager was like looking into it. So interesting that you know, these corporations are doing this stuff. But here's another one. Someone tagged me in this one too, and this one is from the movie theater. So this girl went to the movie theater, AMC Theaters, I know, on Sunday, and she got 2 drinks and pretzel bites, and it came out to $30. And she's like, okay, well, the movie's like really expensive, so I just figured that, you know, the concession stand is gonna charge me out the ass for this shit. And it wasn't until she was walking to the movie that she overheard somebody else say, look, they charged me 60% tax. That's when she looked down at her receipt and noticed that they charged her 60% tax, $11.05 on 1987. So she went back and asked for a manager, and the manager's like, oh yeah, that's been happening all day today, and it's happening at the corporate level. We can't do anything about it. What? So corporate is doing this? And they said, yeah, we haven't been able to do anything about it. We've talked to corporate and they just haven't fixed it. So you're telling me that all of these people that went in and did not get a printed receipt, because most people don't, didn't know that they were charged 60% tax, and obviously are not getting a refund on this. And so corporate is just pocketing all this money. I also made that video about when you tip on to go for IHOP, it doesn't go to the staff, it goes to corporate. Hi, hello, wake the fuck up, people. These corporations are doing everything to fucking bleed us dry. Not only to the employees, but to the consumer. And not to mention that DoorDash and all these apps do the same shit. They're fucking over the drivers by stealing their tips and paying them $2 to $3 a delivery. They're fucking over the restaurants by charging them out the ass and hiking up menu prices and pocketing that. And then they're fucking over the customer by adding so many fees. All of these corporations need to fucking die.
I don't think most women can actually genuinely understand how lonely the majority of men are. And you need to truly understand, if you're Joe Schmo, average in nearly every way, in Starbucks working, you ain't getting a DM ever. You girls will never be lonely. As much as you might be unhappy with the possible suitors, you can at least fuck about and flirt if you feel sad. There are men out here in the world who have genuine loneliness. And I can prove this statistically. Why do you think it's all the men killing themselves compared to? Why do you think it's all the men killing themselves compared to? Why do you think it's all the men killing themselves compared to? Why do you think it's all the men killing themselves compared to? Why do you think it's all the men killing themselves compared to? Why do you think it's all the men killing themselves compared to? Why do you think it's all the men killing themselves compared to? Why do you think it's all the men killing themselves compared to the women?
Genuinely understand how lonely the majority of men are. Bitch, I don't give a fuck.
We have people in isolation.
as a form of torture in our prisons. They're lonely. Why should I care about single dumb men who can go find somebody, but they have to just not be an asshole? They would rather cry about how they're lonely than not be an asshole. So I don't give a fuck. Show me a man who's fighting for other people's loneliness. That's the one I'll make not lonely. How about that? Until then, this shit's a guilt trip from people who have oppressed us. You think we haven't been lonely? Every fucking wife since the history of forever who's been abused, guess what? We are fucking lonely. I don't give a fuck, and that's not our fault. It's not our responsibility. Be better. I don't give a fuck, and that's not our fault. It's not our responsibility. Be better. I don't give a fuck, and that's not our fault. It's not our responsibility. Be better. I don't give a fuck, and that's not our fault. It's not our responsibility. Be better. I don't give a fuck, and that's not our fault. It's not our responsibility. Be better. Be better. Be better. Be better. Be better.
They're admitting it. They know. They know that the suffering that they cause from raising all of our prices, that it hurts us. And they want it. And you take it every day instead of waking up and eating fucking cake. Eat cake, or at least learn to fucking bake one. Meanwhile, we're all paying the fucking price for this, for your complacency.
Be better. Be better. Be better.